Hello, I'm here live in, well, not live, probably by the time this is posted, but here at Ravenlore Books in Calhoun, Georgia. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some concepts that I've been thinking about a little bit lately. One being the rule of three. I just had a discussion here a little bit ago about it with some people here in the store, so I wanted to get it out while it was fresh in my mind. So the rule of three has been discussed a lot in literature and where it comes from and what the background is behind it. And there's been a lot of thought processes that it was some sort of holy number or that it has some sort of deep-seated mystical resonance with us or that it's some sort of like psychological thing for us. And I think it's a little simpler than that. This is my pet theory. I don't know how I would go back and do the research to authenticate this, but follow me for a little bit here. Essentially, if you are a medieval peasant, and I'm not being derogatory there, if you just didn't have access to paper, if you probably couldn't read or write, or if you could, you didn't have access to a lot of books. You had to remember things. A lot of it was oral tradition. In fact, that's what the Brothers Grimm did, is they just wandered through the German countryside talking to parents and grandparents and getting the stories from them that they had shared with their own families and then wrote them down. So the rules of three it's a mnemonic device. At least that's my thought process to it. It's a mnemonic device, and it makes it easy to remember where you are in the story in an oral tradition. You've got three brothers, you've got two evil stepsisters and Cinderella, or Sleeping Beauty, or not Sleeping Beauty, Belle, or whoever in Beauty and the Beast, or you have the three little pigs. And as you're telling the story, it's very easy to go back and be like, okay, where am I? Oh yeah, the middle pig did this. Oh, the second stepsister did, etc. And so it's just very easy to find your place in the story. And I think it's probably part of our psychology now because we've been doing this for several centuries or perhaps longer. But it also helps you in working on your story. Where are you and what are the next things that need to happen? I know some people tend to rail against the old school, three-act structure or seven-act structure, but it is easy. It is nice to kind of map out your points throughout the story and know where it is you are coming from and where you need to go. If you want to go off the guardrails a little bit, that's up to you. But you want to make sure that your story is still cohesive. It's still something that's going to connect with your reader. So having those guardrails in place, even if you get off them at points or, go outside the boundaries, that's fine. Find your creativity, play with your concepts, but having that roadmap can help you if you're getting lost. If you're getting frustrated, if there's a place where you're like, okay, I'm kind of losing my story here, or it seems like I'm just kind of meandering, or that's the feedback you're getting from your beta readers or sigma readers or, whatever they call themselves. So the rule of three, I think it was something as a simple mnemonic device. I think it's become part of our psyche over time, but I think it is still a valuable tool to help create concise messages. I think that having rules of three, you can see that in speech writing, you can see it in psychology and philosophy, where it's like, okay, here's my premise, here's my three major points. I can elaborate on each one of these points, but again, also in a public discourse or when you're giving a speech live, you want to know those 3 points and have those really strong, and then you just elaborate on those 3 points. You can go off script a little bit, but you know where to come back to. And having that place to come back to can be very important in the various media that you might be either engaging in or creating the content that you are creating. Have your 3 points, have your bulleted list, and stick to that. I will go more into concepts of foreground and background a little bit later, but we'll stick with that for right now and the 3 points. And again, as with some of my other videos, if you have questions or would like me to elaborate on certain concepts, feel free to hit me up in the comments. Thank you much. See you next time.